Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Monet Ndebele, and welcome to the 3rd of July Kambako News Roundup. On our top stories, we hear that President Emerson Mnangagwa is panicking over the presidential candidature of former ZANU-PF political commissar Saviour Kasukuwere at a time his administration is battling a floundering economy ahead of the August 23 general elections. Kasukuwere was appointed commissar of the party, a position with chronicles of contrasting fortunes. His predecessors like Elliot Manyika, Boda Gezi, and Morven Mahachi died in mysterious car accidents at a time the party was facing internal strife, raising suspicions that their demise could have been the work of political assassins. Variously known within the ruling party as Tyson Obama or simply by his initials SK, Kasukuwere personified ZANU-PF renewal, hence was widely seen as one of the protagonists of the yesteryear faction known as G40, which lost the plot to succeed long-time leader Robert Mugabe after the military begged Mnangagwa in 2017. For Mnangagwa, we had a wafer-thin victory over opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. Kasukuwere's dramatic entry into the presidential race may spell doom for the ZANU-PF chief. Being a son of Mashonaland Central, one of the governing party's perceived strongholds, the ethnic matrix may play out in the favor of Kasukuwere, who was both feared and loved. In a bid to stop Kasukuwere from contesting in the presidential elections, Mnangagwa and his ZANU-PF acolytes have set an individual known as Lovedale Mangwana to file an urgent High Court application seeking to nullify the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission's nomination of the former cabinet minister as a presidential election candidate. Mnangagwa is unsettled by the idea of Kasukuwere splitting the ZANU-PF vote. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, which is facing a lawsuit from some registered voters in Bulawayo for allegedly accepting nomination papers and candidature of members of various political parties, including the Citizen Coalition for Change, who filed their nomination papers outside the timeframes prescribed by the electoral law. The nomination court set on June 21 to accept papers from aspiring candidates. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission set the next day to accommodate some aspiring candidates who had failed to file their papers on time. The candidates from various parties, which include CCC, ZAPU Free Zim Congress, and the Zimbabwe African National Congress, submitted their papers after the 4 p.m. deadline. ZEC has since published the final list of candidates participating in the August 23 harmonized elections. 12 urgent chamber applications for the declaratory order were filed at the Bulawayo High Court on Friday night by registered voters in Bulawayo. They are challenging ZEC's decision to accept the nomination papers from the opposition party candidates. The Treasury has said resources to enable the country to hold harmonized elections on August 23 are in place, and a number of organizations that facilitate the polls, such as the security sector, will be provided with adequate funding. Political parties that qualify for funding in terms of the country's law will receive their allocation, and Zimbabwe Electoral Commission running the elections will receive adequate funding. Finance and Economic Development Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube, in an interview in Bulawayo, said government is more than ready to hold the elections. Minister Mthuli said there are adequate resources to cater for an election runoff in the event it comes necessary. The nomination court set on June 21, and ZEC has since published the list of candidates that were duly nominated to contest in the elections. President Mnangagwa proclaimed Wednesday, August 23, as the day that the country will conduct the polls. In business news, the continuous decline of the exchange rate has come as a great relief to consumers, bringing hope that the prices for basic commodities will follow the same trajectory. Following the recent macroeconomic policies, which were put in place by the government in May, the Zimbabwean dollar has been steadily regaining its value. At a wholesale forex exchange auction held on Thursday, the local dollar was pegged at $1 to 5,739 bond. Expectations are that the exchange rate, which recently took battering from the negative impact of excess liquidity in the market, will strengthen in favor of the local currency going forward. Since the introduction of the wholesale auction, financial institutions have been struggling to raise the Zimbabwean dollar funding enough to buy more than 1 million US dollars at any given time. The general public has been struggling to access enough local currency to pay various bills, a development that will create demand for local currency, hence regaining its value. Consumer Council of Zimbabwe Material Regional Manager, Mr. Comfort Muchekeza, urged businesses to follow the exchange rate trend and reduce the prices of basic commodities. In sports news, Zimbabwe cricket fans suffered a heartbreak after the national cricket team, the Chevrons, stumbled in their quest to qualify for the World Cup with a defeat from Sri Lanka at Queen Sports Club in Bulawayo yesterday. However, it's not over yet, as there is still one more berth they can claim with a win over Scotland at the same venue tomorrow. Hordes of fans had crammed the arena, hoping to see their team romping to victory and qualifying for the India finals this year, but left dejected after the Sri Lankan bowlers ripped through the Zimbabwean batting line to skittle them for just 165 runs in 32.2 overs. A victory for Zimbabwe tomorrow will put contention to rest as they will join Sri Lanka, but a defeat for the Wasps gives the initiative to Scotland. Thank you very much for tuning in today. See you again tomorrow. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Ndebele Molet, on Instagram, Queen Molly07, and on Twitter, Molet Ndebele.